What's up everybody, my name is Ellen and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you along on a little excursion, some behind the scenes of how I shoot myself with the products on me. Let's do this. So I definitely prepped a little too hot, that's why it's always important to wear layers. When you're shooting, wear layers because you never know how hot or cold you're gonna get. Especially when you're hiking outdoors, folks. All right, that's a lot better. Okay. All right guys, so we just made it to the spot. I have my tripod here. I got my trusty camera bag with all of the gear right inside. And this beautiful landscape right behind me. Let's see how this is done. So the first thing I have to do after I have gotten into the proper attire for the shoot is I'm going to set up my tripod. When I'm setting up my tripod, I look at the scene first and see where I want to put myself and place the tripod as it needs to be. What I want to do is I'm probably going to balance myself on this log over here with this cool mountain in the background, really just getting the whole scene for what it is. All right, and then the next step that I like to do is obviously get the camera out so I can take the photos. And you're interested in knowing what kind of equipment that I use, definitely check out my last video that I just posted. And it's all about what's in my camera bag and what I shoot with on a day-to-day basis. So right now I'm plugging in my wireless remote control, Vello Freewave wireless remote control. So for Instagram purposes, because that's what generally my photos are going on, I like to shoot vertical. So the image actually takes up the entire phone screen. So we're gonna flip this baby to the side. And from this point on, there's a lot of adjusting that I have to do. I tend to move my camera around a lot just so that I get a lot of different angles and just various different perspectives for the win. Make sure to always have your lens cap off. After I have got my tripod set up the way I want it to, I then go in and adjust my settings. I put my focus point on where I'm going to be standing, that way I am sharp. And when I am doing these shots of myself, I have to shoot on manual because I don't want the focus to go in and out while I'm up there trying to do my thing. I do like to shoot on a pretty wide aperture, anywhere between 1.4 and 2.8. And then my shutter speeds are actually pretty high so that there's nothing blown out in the sky or where I'm going to be placing myself as well. Everything needs to be perfectly lit. And of course, always make sure to check your histogram on your camera. Never look at the back of the screen as a reference point for the type of lighting within your shots. The histogram on your camera is going to give you the most accurate lighting for any scenario that you're shooting in. Now that I have my tripod and my camera set and ready to shoot, it's time for me to get in the action. When I am shooting myself, I do have this little remote in hand so that I can trigger that shutter off. But A big thing for me to keep in mind is to always make sure that this is out of the scene. I don't want this scene in my photos, so I always think of different ways of how I can hold it. I'll put it in my sleeve, I'll make sure to put it like behind me somehow. I'm always keeping the remote farthest angle away from the camera. So our sun is starting to kind of fade away a little bit. When that happens, I like to move the camera around and maybe put myself in a different position. Maybe the background isn't going to be as busy or dramatic with scenery. I might do something a little bit simpler just to really put the focus on the clothes that I'm wearing. It's always good to just continue to keep playing around with whatever it is that you're shooting and have as much variety as possible, because you never know what you're going to end up liking the best after putting on the computer. A lot of the times when I'm taking photos of myself, it looks ridiculous and you just kind of have to own it. Some of the photos that I take look really stupid, but there's always at least one or two that turns out really well, and it looks super natural and candid, and that's exactly what I'm aiming for in my work, to make it look natural and lifestyle-like. And that's how it's done, folks. It's pretty straightforward. I keep it as simple as possible, using as little gear as I possibly can. That way, the haul isn't as heavy. When you're shooting yourself, it takes time, it takes practice, and it takes some getting used to. So if you're going out there and you're going to be doing something similar, just take a deep breath and, you know, work and get creative and play around with everything that you possibly have at hand. I just want to thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching this entire process of behind the scenes with me shooting myself by myself with what I've got. If you guys like this video, definitely go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you care to see some more, hit that subscribe button. But until next time, I'll see you later.